Hello, class. We are into week 4. Can you believe it? We are 33.3% done with the course. If that doesn't make you excited, I'm just kidding. So we're into week 4, and this week we're learning a little bit more in-depth concepts related to quantitative research methods. If you're anything like Dr. Mack, you hate math. I hate math. I've always had a hate for math. It stems from a poor math teacher I had in grade school that gave me severe anxiety when it came to my times tables and has trickled onto me throughout my adulthood. I avoid math. I will call my dad when I have measurements just to double check myself 4 or 5 times. To make sure that I'm doing it right. So when it comes to research, I love storytelling. I'm a poet, so I love poetry. I love the emotion it evokes. I've always been drawn to qualitative research. However, there are some items and there are some questions within my brain and within my research interests that can't be answered from a qualitative lens. Sometimes it needs a quantitative approach. And so I tend to ease myself into those quantitative situations. I think a lot of people think that quantitative can't be face-to-face. It doesn't really tell a story like qualitative does. And, somewhat that's a little bit accurate. But when we look at quantitative theory, it just tells a story a different way. So I think about it as it's getting to the finish line, but it just took a different route rather than the qualitative. In quantitative studies, I recently had a study that was mixed methods. It started out qualitative. And what happened from that qualitative study, which you'll learn about, is coding happened. From that coding, core themes were calculated throughout the qualitative data from the open discussion groups. So we came up with 18 core themes, 18 themes and sub-themes. And then from those 18 sub-themes, we picked 4 core themes. So what we wanted to do was to understand how many times those themes popped up. Well, that was a quantitative approach. So that eased me into the quantitative mind of thinking. So this theme popped up over 220 times within these study circles, etc. So while I don't usually do quantitative analysis, this was a way to ease me into it, to release my fears of quantitative just being, this big elephant in the room that I never wanted to tackle. And I really value the information that quantitative brings in a different lens. I come from a background where I think that differentiated learning is extremely important. And what I mean by that is that we all learn in different ways. That is why throughout this course, you will see that I have TED Talks where you review TED Talks, share your input. I have quizzes. I have papers. I have infographics. If you look in this week's lecture content, you will see an infographic that highlights the differences between quantitative and qualitative. And the reason that I do that is because we all learn and interpret information in different ways. And that's important with research, because we're putting research out into the world in hopes that practitioners, community members, mediators, peacekeepers, spiritual mentors will take this information and be able to tangibly implement it or share it and pass it on to their schools, to their organizations, to their wellness retreat centers. And so that's why I think that quantitative research is so important, because it gives us a different view of the info. It lets the different learning styles be transferred in a different kind of way. So not only are we just reading people's stories and picking up on keywords, we're seeing statistics, we're seeing graphs, we're seeing pie charts, we're seeing the causation of or the correlation of these statistics. And I think that's important to offer a different kind of view to the audience we're trying to reach, to the researchers that will use our theories, our techniques, and hopefully pass them on and make them spill over into their communities and organizations. And so, I want to caution you not to be afraid of quantitative researching. It's important. It does involve some math, but it's not scary math. And I hope that, researching it this week will give you a different type of lens in sharing what you feel about quantitative research in your discussion forums. If you have any questions or issues, please reach out to me. Next week, I'm going to post a study for the qualitative week from another faculty in the Mindful Leadership program. Her name is Dr. Falami DeVoe, and she wrote a qualitative study using poetry, emotion, storytelling. And so I'm going to post that for your review. It's a great dissertation research study, and I think you all will like it. In the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm always available. Don't forget to mark on your calendars the open Zoom call we have in 2 Saturdays. And I look forward to grading your work this week. And I hope you're enjoying the course. Please reach out. Take care.